What is up, team?
Hello.
Diana's lost her voice. Happy New Year's to all of you guys. We're currently in Sumba, Indonesia, and we're going back home to Bali today. And honestly, I'm so fucking excited to get back because working from a laptop, it actually sucks. Like, I love having my workstation with my 3 monitors. It's so much fucking better. And wanted to jump in and share my biggest lessons for 2024. Because it was a pretty crazy year and I had a lot of realizations, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and hopefully you can take something away from this. So lesson number 1 is to surround yourself with winners so that when you share your successes, it doesn't feel like, or it's not perceived like, you're bragging. And this has been a huge lesson for me, and it reminds me of this quote that says, it's lonely at the top. And I feel like that's not true. I feel like they missed something on the tail end of that sentence. It should be, it's lonely at the top until you find a new circle of friends who align with your goals, ambitions, and values. And I've had to cut a couple of people out of my life in 2024 who no longer fit my circle. Not that they're bad people, it's just that you can only have so many people on your fantasy football team, and so you have to be very selective with who you surround yourself with. I remember sharing my wins sometimes with people that I thought were friends, but they didn't celebrate my wins or didn't support my growth or my goals. And it's a very shit situation to be in when you want to share your successes with the people that you care about the most, but when they don't care back, it's very disheartening. Lesson number 2 is the most underrated key to happiness is giving without the expectation of anything in return. And this just doesn't apply to the business world, it applies to my personal life too. Some of the biggest moments of scarcity that I was experiencing was the moments where I was giving back more than I ever had. And every single time I gave back without the expectation of getting anything in return, the more my life got better. And I've recently been donating and stuff like that to charities and starving families. And it's given me so much purpose, so much joy, so much fulfillment. It's like lit something inside of me that I never really had inside of me before. So in 2025, one of my goals is to, give more to charity, give back more to the community, because that stuff lights me on fire. Lesson number 3 is the most important decision that you'll make is the partner that you choose and decide on. I've been in some pretty shit relationships in the past where, it felt like a competition. It didn't really feel like the person that I was with truly wanted to see me win, truly didn't want to see me happy or succeeding inside of business or inside of life. And the same applies for, your friends. You need to make sure that you're only surrounded with people that they don't necessarily need to be entrepreneurs. They don't need to be, on the battlefield going to war with you. But if they're not, then they should be your biggest supporters. And if they don't fit one of those two, if they're not on the battlefield going to war with you, and if they're not your biggest supporters, then you should cut them from your life. As harsh as that is, it needs to happen because once again, you can only have so many people on your fantasy football team. There's only so much time and energy that you can give to others. Lesson number 4 is, and this is a big one, you need to have an exit strategy from coaching. Chances are you're not going to be coaching online until you're 65, 70 years old. And so considering this, you need to be planning your exit strategy. And one of the biggest things that I've been doing since October 2023 is investing heavily into the crypto markets. Becoming very educated on blockchain technology, crypto markets, the 4-year cycles, dollar cost averaging, dollar cost exiting out of the markets as the markets pump. And, in 2024, on average, after all bills and personal expenses and business expenses, I was probably pocketing and taking home about $30, $40, sometimes $50,000 a month in profit. And, if you think about saving up $1 million and you're saving $50,000 every single month, it's going to take you 20 months to save $1 million, right? And then obviously there's inflation that's happening. The buying power is becoming weaker and weaker every single year. And I used to invest into gold and stocks and stuff like that. And that meme where it kind of like, this dude's like poking this thing with the stick and it's not doing anything. That's what it felt like investing into the stock market and into gold. So in October of 2023, I liquidated all of my stocks, all of my gold, and went all in on crypto. And it's probably been one of the best decisions I've ever made. Like, at some point in 2025, I will be in the position to retire, I think, if I wanted to, or semi-retire. But I'm going to keep coaching for the next 4 years and see how things go. But it definitely takes away a lot of the stress and pressure because, as entrepreneurs, our destiny is in our hands. If we can't produce, if we can't generate income consistently and learn to manage our money properly, then things can go sour very, very quickly. Lesson number 5 is hate never comes from above. And obviously, us as coaches, entrepreneurs, we're always marketing online. And as you market, as you gain more attention, generally you start to attract a lot of haters. And one thing that I've had to realize in 2024 was, not taking that hate personally, understanding that when people hate, it is simply a reflection of themselves and the hate that they have inside of their heart. And it usually stems from their own insecurities and their own deficiencies as to why they're not where they want to be inside of life. And so you need to understand that, gaining and garnishing attention and getting attention online, it comes with the territory. You need to be willing to take the good with the bad. And if not, then, you're going to have too much fear around putting yourself out there online. You're going to let judgment consume you to the point where you will not produce anything. And the final lesson that I have is just because you can doesn't mean you should. There were times inside of 2024 where I could have bought, $1 million mansion. And whilst that would have looked good on social media and it would have looked good to society and look how successful I am, sometimes just because you can does not mean you should. Sometimes things that you could invest in, you shouldn't invest in because they are not assets, they're liabilities. And, we need to be smart with our money, especially if the goal is to protect and provide for our loved ones and build a future. Sometimes we need to delay that gratification so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor later down the track and sort of have more patience along that process. So those are my biggest lessons for 2024. I hope you took something away from these. And if you guys have any lessons that you want to share from your 2024, I would love to hear from you. But apart from that, Happy New Year, team.
Happy New Year.
Fucking love you guys. I wish you and your loved ones a very blessed year. God bless. Take care. And we'll chat very soon.